In the name of God, our Creator, Redeemer, and Sustainer. Amen. Please be seated. Who do you say that I am? We get this question a lot in the lectionary. Usually about once a year, but that's a lot given that it's a 3-year cycle. But it comes up, the themes of who we say that Jesus is. And it matters who we say Jesus is. Our Bishop Hirschfeld, says it really well. He talks about how important our theology is. He reminds us that theology is not just a Sunday morning thing, it's a life thing. It's the way in which we view God has such an important impact on our daily living. And so our theology isn't just some head exercise that happens on Sunday morning. It matters for our daily life. Just look at this interaction that Jesus has with his buddies. He says, hey, what's the gossip? What's the word on the street? What are people talking about? What are they saying about me? And they answer, because that's easy, oh, I heard somebody said this about you. And then Jesus, moves from preaching to meddling and says, what do you say? And Peter, God bless him, you are the Messiah. Right answer, ding, 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 ding. But this idea of who am I? Who are you saying that I am? And what's amazing to me is that even though Peter kind of in the moment gets the right answer, what's the next thing that happens? The very next thing is Jesus talks about what it means to be that. What Jesus' mission to come and deny himself, this self-emptying servant leadership. This way of moving in the world that is not about taking, but about giving, about sharing oneself even to death. And what does Peter do right after he hears that? Dude, come here, Jesus. That will not sell. You cannot be saying that. We're going to win, right? We're going to go in there and we're going to take over. You are the Messiah. The King is here. We are going to win. And Jesus rebukes him and says, get behind me, Satan. You're not paying attention to the heavenly, to the divine, to the mission that God has called us to. Isn't that so real? For me, that's real. I need to be reminded of that on a moment-by-moment basis. Not daily, moment by moment. Peter come on, this is kind of the way we're all formed. And Jesus reminds him, no. And then Jesus goes on to teach everybody else. He called the crowds and said to them, if any want to become my followers, let them deny themselves, take up their cross and follow me. For those who want to save their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake and for the sake of the gospel will save it. For what will it profit them to gain the whole world and forfeit their life? Go in peace to love and serve the Lord. Good luck. That's hard stuff. That is not something that you just go, what? That this whole mission is about denying self. What does that look like? It is just so challenging to even imagine what that would look like. But who we say Jesus is really matters. In this community, we have a slogan / mission / bumper sticker that says, we welcome all in the name of Christ. Have you all realized how incredibly challenging that is? Do you realize how audacious that goal is in that mission? We welcome all in the name of Christ. Think about the all right now. Whew. Can't we just say we welcome most? Isn't that quote unquote good enough? I remember when we just put up flags. You know, we have an American flag, we have an Episcopal flag, we have a pride flag. And wow, I mean, to me I was like, yeah, put them all up because we welcome all. Because there are people that see the Episcopal flag, both of them, and go, I'm welcome here. That was a joke. There's not that many Episcopalians in the world. They see that flag and they go, yeah, I'm welcome there. This is great. Some people see that American flag and go, yeah, I'm welcome. Other people, unfortunately, see that and go, maybe I'm not. But the pride flag can kind of go, oh, okay. All three. We welcome all in the name of Christ. Whew. Do we do it well? That's a sermon for another day. It is hard, and it is a practice. And it is one that we have to work at on a regular basis. Because what I'm aware of is that who do we say Jesus is really matters. And if you look in the world, people are saying Jesus is a lot of things. And so I think for myself as a human being in general, as a Christian in particular, I need to work on what do I say that Jesus is? How do I do that? And yes, I'm a preacher, so I use a lot of words, but it's really my life that matters more. It's that theme that has come up in my sermons lately is that, that phrase from the general thanksgiving from morning prayer to show forth thy praise not only with my lips, but in my life. So how do we do that? What is it? Because so often I think I fall into the Peter thing where I'm like, all right, God, get on my side. We're going to win. When in actuality, I think I need to spend more time pondering and wondering and asking the question, am I on God's side? And is my life reflecting thy will be done, not my will be done? And that is work. That doesn't just happen for me. And so there is a temptation that I have where I would say something nice, wrap it up with a bow, and say, good luck. But I was wondering, well, what do you do, Rob? How do we work on this answer of who we say Jesus is? What are the ways in which I can tend my life in a way so that all are welcome isn't just a slogan, but a practice? And I have two things that today that I'm working on. The first thing that I wish we could start as little children with both of these two things and go all the way to the grave, because this question and the answer to it evolves. It's not the same when we're born as when we die and in between. But when I ask you this question, I hope you'll answer it in your head and in your heart and wonder about it. What is enough? What is enough? Because I have been conditioned, formed, raised, put in this world, in a world that the answer that is predominant, that is the loudest to that question, what is enough, is just a little bit more. We live in a culture that supports that. We have an economy that depends on it. It is just everywhere. That answer to what is enough is just a little bit more. And that is such a recipe for not good things. How's that? And so what if this gospel message that Jesus says is that I am the way and the truth and the life, and that I came that you may have life and life abundantly, and indeed there is enough. Enough God, enough love for all. So I don't know about you, but that is not something that I'm like, there's enough. Yay, and I just kind of run off. That is a lifelong process. And what I'm aware of is, yes, we can talk about money and things like that, but like time and health, enough of that. Where I have learned so much. On a worldly example, I have a friend that owns 3 restaurants, and he does really well. And you know what everybody tells him? You need to open more. Hears it every time he talks about his business. You need to open more. And he doesn't. And I asked him once, I said, why haven't you opened more? He goes, it's a lot of work and I have enough. And I went, whoa. Very secular example, but one in which I have seen some changes. The other one that I am just blown away by all the time is that I have the incredible privilege of walking with people at the end of their life. And I've been here long enough that I don't do that with many strangers anymore. I do it with people I know really well. And a lot of times I will walk into a room where I know that the end of life is close. And I will walk in anxious. I will walk in doing my best Edwin Friedman impression, which is be a non-anxious presence. When on the inside I'm going, oh. And I'll walk in and my feelings are like, you just need some more time. It's fine. Come on, you'll be fine. In my head, in my heart. And it's amazing to me how many times that person who is close to the end of their earthly life is the minister who pats me and says, I've had enough time. I'm ready. I'm scared, or this is hard, but that there is a peace that we talk about that surpasses understanding. That kind of acknowledgement is something that has been worked on. These people have worked on that question, what is enough? And so my other one that I wish I could work on more and think about is, so what is enough? Huge question. I want to get really little and specific. What's a good day for you? Not a good life, a good day. Atul Gawande, who wrote the book Being Mortal, talks about this with his patients. He's a doctor who has done a lot of work with aging and how do we do that, and talking about what a good day looks like. What if we started that as like a preschool lesson? Because I tell you, a preschooler's good day, a teenager's good day, a 20-something's good day, a 40-something's good day, and on, are different. Like I used to think, oh, a good day, right? At the beach, I get to surf for 8 hours, sleep, rinse, repeat, A good day. Well, that time when we couldn't gather, when we couldn't get together here on Sunday mornings, taught me something. That at 55 years old, which I am not old, and I'm not young, and then, now granted, age is relative. There are plenty of people sitting out there going, right now, looking at me going, you are old. And there are plenty of people looking at me right now going, you are young. But at 55, I realized that, I thought about my good day. My good day is waking up on a weekend morning at 5:30, watching the sun come up, pouring a cup of coffee, stressing about what I'm going to say to these people I love, showing up and doing this, and engaging with my friends and colleagues and parishioners, and getting to 1 p.m. exhausted. At 55 years old, that is a good day for me. And it incorporates a lot of different things. Yes, there's things for me, there's things for God, there's things for the community. But I encourage you to work on that. What's a good day? Because I think when we work, or at least I will say when I work on what that is for me, and then what is enough, and I kind of put those together, my life projects who I say Jesus is. When I am fearful that I don't have enough, that gets reflected. When I'm at peace, that gets reflected. St. Francis gets beat on a lot with this quote being used all the time. I've used it within the last month, but you guys are used to me repeating everything, so it's the way it goes. Preach the gospel at all times. When necessary, use words. Who do we say Jesus is? Matters. May we practice our life, ask the important questions, reflect on them, wonder about them, indeed, maybe even argue about them, so that this mission of welcoming all includes us and everybody else, and that our lives will show forth God's praise. What is enough for you? And what is your good day? And who is Jesus? Amen.